What's going on, guys? Kenny here from 619 Guitars and Gear, and in today's video we are going to check out yet again another solar guitar. It is the AB1.6S. So let's jump into it. Alright, well, welcome back to another video. I'm super excited about this one, but before we jump into things, I just want to say thank you for watching. If you're new here, welcome aboard. I'd love to have you join the family, so go ahead and hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, so every time I make a video, you'll know about it. Definitely one of my favorite things to do is answer your guys' questions and interact in the comments, so feel free to leave a comment, let's talk, and yeah, smash that like button, because apparently that's how the YouTube knows you're watching and the algorithm works. Who knows if that's a myth or true, but definitely do it for me. Really excited about this video. Jam-packed specs on this guitar. If you missed the unboxing video, go ahead and hit the link up here. Watch that one first. As stated in that video, this is my first time with an Evertune bridge, and that this is a B-stock solar. But we will talk about why I got a B-stock later on. It's pretty simple. But let's definitely jump into these specs first, because that's why I was drawn to this thing, because they're just pretty awesome in my eyes. As always, made in Indonesia, like they all are. It is a 2021 model, so brand spanking new according to the serial number. You have a AB body type, which A is Solar's, Strat style body, if you will, just way more aggressive. B would be for bolt-on, which if you know Solar, most of their necks are set through, so the bolt-on's really a cool feature, definitely a different feel and sound. You have a solid alder body, so definitely a nice sounding wood in my opinion. Topped off with an antique silver matte finish. I wasn't about the silver at all when I ordered it. I just basically loved the price of the guitar and the specs, and I was kind of just overlooking the color because it didn't matter to me. And the silver definitely grew on me. I really like the way it looks, especially once I saw it in person. As far as the neck, you have a 3-piece roasted maple neck with a roasted maple fretboard. It is a C-shaped neck, so not too fat and not too skinny. Definitely skinnier than my other Solar, being that there's no paint or anything on the back of this besides just the matte finish. Really fast feeling neck. Not that I'm a shredder by any means, because I'm far from it, but definitely really easy to go back and forth, and definitely a thinner feel. You have a 25.5-inch scale. The radius is 13.78 inches. You have 24 super jumbo stainless steel frets, so you can definitely tell the difference between the stainless and the nickel. Definitely a brighter sound in my opinion, and they'll last longer. You have a graphite nut. You have a dual action truss rod with the Allen key adjuster up here at the headstock underneath the Solar engraved truss rod cover. You have no inlays except here at the 12th fret, the typical Solar inlay, which is in black, which I like that it's black and not like mother of pearl or something. Definitely looks really cool. And then for side dots, you have the Luminlay side dots, which is a feature that's really grown on me. I was kind of about it before, but after having a couple guitars with it, I definitely really like it, and it definitely does its job playing in dark, situations or dark stages or whatnot. You charge them up and they do glow for a decent amount of time. Now, as far as the hardware on this thing, you have all matte black hardware. Looks really great with the silver and the roasted. It is Solar branded 18-to-1 locking tuners, which seem to function great. I'd love to see how these things work on a non-Evertuned guitar, because obviously you'll see how good they really are with like a fixed bridge or whatnot, because the combination of the locking tuners and the Evertune obviously makes the tuning stability on this thing pretty flawless. So great tuners in my opinion. You have a Duncan Solar humbucker in the bridge, and then a Duncan Solar dual rail in the neck, which looks like a single coil, but it's obviously a dual rail, so it pretty much functions, I guess, as like a humbucker. Definitely a good sound out of this thing. You have a volume and a tone. Now they're both push-pull. Solar's website says that they're switching between series and parallel. But if you look in how they're wired and like went on like Seymour Duncan's wiring diagrams website, you would see that they consider how it's wiring coil split. So not really sure. It does sound like it's splitting the coils, but definitely with that and the three-way switch, a huge variety of tonal options on this thing. And then last but not least, you have the black Evertune, which is just amazing. We'll talk about that later. On the back, you have just the cover for the control cavity, no neck plate. The holes are recessed with the black grommets, so that's definitely a nice, slick feature. You have the back plate for the Evertune, which is not recessed, and probably if you took this off and saw what's under it, you'd understand why. But yeah, just great specs on this thing. Mono output jack, black strap buttons, and yeah. So you heard it in a demo, full demo mix. Let's hear this thing by itself with distortion and clean, and then we'll talk about some things. So let's jump into that. All right, well, you heard it in a full mix demo. We talked about the specs. We did standalone playthroughs with distortion and clean. Obviously, the sound of the guitar is going to be different for everyone depending on your gear and your preference and tone. I didn't even really dial in a good tone for this guitar because I used the Neural DSP Gojira plugin on a default setting. And, I could sit here for hours and play with settings, and I'll never, I'll just keep messing with it, and I'll never get it to where I'm happy. That's just a way of the game of chasing tone, I guess. But I just basically wanted to give you a ballpark idea of the different sounds with the different combinations of the push-pull and the three-way switch, because there is a lot of different combinations you can do. So I basically just wanted to give you a ballpark range. So on to why I got a B-Stock. It's pretty simple. If you follow the brand Solar, you know they've been having some QC issues. Not that they have announced publicly, unfortunately, but if you've probably seen it online or on YouTube from other people. And yeah, it really sucks. I hope it gets sorted out soon. I have faith that it will, but who knows? We'll see. But I think buying a B-Stock is your best bet, honestly, because you can go on the website, you can look at pictures of it. It'll tell you why it's a B-Stock, so you know in your head what to expect. And yeah, this one's a B-Stock because it has, a few specks of dust in the paint. So it has paint blemishes. Some of the other ones have like crappy fretwork or, a dark neck or fretboard or a peeling logo. This one is showing a little bit hint of like it could maybe start peeling in the future. I'll have to keep an eye on it. It's nowhere near as bad as some of the other ones I've seen. And honestly, if that happens, I'm just going to have to fix it myself because I am not sending this thing back and forth and playing that game because you know how that goes. So I'll have to just keep an eye on that. But other than that, this thing is flawless, honestly. The fret ends are great. Literally, if I didn't tell you about the specs in the paint, you would not be able to find them because it's literally insane that they would consider specs in the paint at B-Stock. The label was obviously not mentioned in the post. Honestly, I'm not going to consider that a peeling label because it's barely noticeable. You really kind of got to look at it. As far as the Evertune, I really liked the Evertune. A lot of people were kind of skeptical about it and a little intimidated by it. It literally took me 5 to 10 minutes to set up, and it's really, really easy. I watched a bunch of videos beforehand, so I kind of knew what to expect. It's basically just these 3 different zones. Zone 1 is like no string tension at all when you would be changing the strings, and then to get it in Zone 2 you would use the tuners, and then as you're tuning up, when the pitch of the string stops when you're turning it, then you're in Zone 2. A lot of people think that you can't do string bends on an Evertune, which is complete crap and false, so throw that out the window. To do string bends, you would just put it more towards the end of Zone 2, so you would go until the pitch of the string jumps up again and then come back maybe like a full turn or a turn and a half, and then you'll be able to do your string bends. If you don't want it to do bends, if you're recording a solid riff and you want it to be as stable as possible, you can go in like the middle or the beginning of Zone 2, and it'll make it so you can't do bends. But that whole thing is false with not being able to do string bends, so get rid of it. It's just crap that people think that. But I really like the feel of the Evertune. It definitely does its job when doing hard open chords or something like that. A regular bridge will sometimes fluctuate in the tuning when you do like a hard open chord or something. It will just, a little jump out a little bit and then it will settle out. This one doesn't do that. It's just nice and crispy the whole way through the ring out, and I really love that feature. It's great for obviously recording, and yeah. Definitely one of the best things about the Evertune, I think. As far as the feel, the only thing I notice is having to choke up a little bit more than normal to do palm mutes. But other than that, it doesn't feel any different than any other bridge. Once you get it in Zone 2, you would do the rest of your tuning down here at the saddle with the Evertune key. And then your action and intonation would be adjusted pretty much like any other bridge. It's pretty self-explanatory. So there's no reason to be intimidated by it because it's really easy to set up once you figure it out. But the QC on this thing is fine with me. It is a B-Stock, so I knew what to expect. I'm really glad I decided to get this guitar, even though I wasn't a fan of the silver. The specs are really good, and definitely a fan of the bolt-on neck with the Solar. And yeah, I think I'm probably going to get another one. I do have a T-Series coming, which was just announced that it was delayed, so that kind of sucks. And I hope it's for the good that it's delayed, because they're, you know, double checking everything. But who knows? You know, I'm really excited about that one though. But yeah, great specs on this guitar. I think it sounds great. It looks great. It feels really good. So definitely an A+ in my book. The next review is going to be a guitar that you guys will really like. It's definitely pretty fancy, and that's something that's a little bit not in my style range, but I think, you know, hopefully I'll enjoy it. It was sent in by a viewer, and I'm definitely excited to do a review on that one. So that's it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed. I want to thank you for watching again, and yeah, we will see you in the next video.